Are you struggling to complete the new Firebase Z Easter egg? Don't understand the mimic step? Can't beat the boss? Or maybe you just need to know every step in general? If so, you're on the right video for all of that. How's it going, guys? My name is NCryptid, and today I'll be showing you how to fully complete the Firebase Z Easter egg. I do everything solo in this guide, but doing it co-op is even easier than solo, so feel free to put a team together for this if you want to. Also, one final thing to add before we jump into it is I'm going to be dividing the video up into chapters based on each step we're currently on, so if you're looking for something specific, I've got you covered. Anyways, let's go. Just like all of my Cold War Zombies guides, we need to start off with your loadout. I'd recommend using the Hauer shotgun so you can deal with mimics and manglers easier, but that's up to you, and you should be using the Ring of Fire field upgrade as well. Before we can even begin step 1, we need to first open up the map and turn on the power. In this map, turning on power is not as simple as flicking a switch. To turn on power in this map, you'll actually need to activate 3 different ether reactors around the base, and to do this, you'll need to defend them while getting kills. It's pretty easy, just be careful of the sprinters. Once you've activated the reactors, return to spawn and talk to Revanov. This will activate the Pack Punch machine. Once you've talked to Revanov, you'll be told to go find a new character on the map named Dr. Peck. He'll be in the mission control area, where Stamina Up is located. Go up to his window and talk to him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in much of a helping mood, but we can fix that. Return back to Revanov again, and this time he'll give you a key card that you can use to access a few lockers around the map. These lockers contain the ingredients needed to create a truth serum that we can use on Peck. This is step 1. The first locker you'll need to access is at spawn near the quick revive machine. The second locker is in engineering under the OPC. The third and final locker is found in the colonel's office next to his desk. Once you've gathered all 3 of the vials, take them to the field hospital and use the machine there to mix them. This process is quick and takes like 20 seconds at max, but while this goes on, a few hellhounds will spawn on you. So go ahead and kill them off and then pick up the machine once it's ready. Take the machine up to the ventilator near the OPC above Peck's office and place it on top of it. Then head to Peck's window and enjoy the show. Basically, this created a truth serum gas that makes Peck give you more details on how to find Samantha. He explains that she's locked away in the dark ether, but we can retrieve her if we get the right codes and IDs from his comrades. Obviously, they are all dead or infected now, so the only way to retrieve these codes is to use a special device created for tapping into the memories of the undead soldiers and workers, aka the Mimic Step. If you head up to the data center, you can find a machine there that has 4 traps stowed away in it. These are the devices I mentioned before. We're going to use these traps to capture 3 undead mimics around the map. The reason we're even catching mimics is because they just so happen to be the 3 men that know the codes for getting Samantha out of the dark ether. Firstly, before we even continue with this step, turn on your subtitles. This way you'll know if you got the right mimics or not. The way these devices work is they'll capture anything that stands near them once the trap's been activated. To activate the trap, simply double tap X or square, depending on what console you're on. However, you do need to weaken the mimics before you try to capture them. Have you ever played Pokemon? Then this should be pretty easy for you. Now, here's the catch, pun intended. You're never going to know for certain if you've caught the correct mimics until after you've sent their essence into the machine. There are 3 mimics you need to catch, and they're all over the map, but the primary locations for them are spawn, near the colonel's office, and near the planning offices. Here's what you need to do. At the end of every round, go around the map exploring these locations and the areas surrounding these locations until you stumble across random items laying on the ground. These items are fakes, and one of them is a mimic. This is going to be the mimic you need to catch for this round, and you can only get one of these mimics per round. Once you get him to spawn, damage him until he's super low on health, and then trap him. Pick up the trap and run it to the data center where you first picked up the traps in the first place. Place its essence back into the machine, and this is where your subtitles come into effect, because once the essence has been sent into the machine will read you a story, and the subtitles will tell you who's telling the story. We're looking for Brahms, Zabine, and Solikov. If the person telling the story is not one of these 3 people, then that was the wrong mimic, and you're gonna need to go another round to try this again. And again, remember, search near the rooms in spawn, near the colonel's office, and near the planning office. And you're looking for Brahms, Zabine, and Solikov, and the the only way you'll know for sure if you got them is by taking the mimic you caught to the data center and just hoping it's the right one. If it's not the person you're looking for, go another round and hunt them down again. I did this step about as flawlessly as I could, and even I got the wrong mimic occasionally, and that's why I say this is sorta random at times. Because even if you caught the mimic they hid in that area, it still might not be the right one. But just keep trying. There's really no harm in going through rounds on this egg, so just keep calm, take your time. And I'm so sorry if this was hard to follow or, hard to understand, because it definitely is the hardest and most complicated step out of this whole guide. But once you're done with it, man, it's all smooth sailing from here. Once you've got all the correct memories collected, go to the machine and pick up the floppy disk it gives you. This disk has the codes and the ID numbers on it that will help you get Samantha out of the dark ether. Take the disk to the planning offices and place it in the machine up there. Once the machine finishes reading the disk, it will open the OPC and reveal the dark ether portal inside. And also, don't forget to grab the intel inside of here either. You've located the portal, but we still need Peck's help to get Samantha out. Go talk to him, and when you do, he'll basically say we're gonna need to generate more power in the ether reactor. Revanov chimes in and gives you a code to a locker near Peck's window. In this locker is an ether meter, a device that helps you locate dark ether crystals around the map. Before you head out, go to the scorched defense area outside of mission control and grab the shovel that's inside one of the bunkers. We'll be needing it in just a second. You've got the ether meter, you've got the shovel, now we need to locate 3 hidden dark ether crystals buried around the map. The first one is buried in a corner outside of engineering. Dig it up and it'll vanish and a whole bunch of fake crystals will scatter around the area. These are mimics disguised as crystals, and if you grab one of the mimics instead of the real crystal, I'm sure you can guess what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to fight a crap ton of them, and you're also gonna have to wait till the next round to try again. So how about we just pick the real one on our first try? The fake crystals have a dark tainted mist around them, but the real crystal has a clear, pure white mist surrounding it. There's quite a few crystals to search through, but once you find the one that doesn't have a dark aura around it and instead has a pure white mist around it, that's the one you want to grab. If done correctly, you'll get a crystal in your inventory and no mimics will spawn. The second crystal is found in the jungle defense area. In the far back area where the zombies spawn during the defense missions, there should be a dig site where you uncover another crystal. But be careful, once you dig this crystal up, there is no going back. You need to survive in a small bubble where the crystal is while you defend against dogs, manglers, zombies, and mimics. Make sure you use your ring of fire when you need it. This lasts for about a minute or two, but once it's over, you'll get your second crystal. The third and final crystal is probably the easiest one to get, but you do need the new wonder weapon, the R.A.I. I'll explain how to get the R.A.I in just a second, but first, let's talk about the crystal. You'll go back to the end of the field hospital to find the dig site. Once you find it, dig up the crystal, and then poof. It's gone, but not far. I'm not sure on where all of the locations are for it, but for me, it usually just floats around the barracks area. When you do find it again, it'll disappear if you get too close, so this is where the R.A.I comes in. You'll use the secondary fire feature on the R.A.I to keep the crystal stuck in place just long enough for you to get up to it and grab it. Once you do this, now you need to take all 3 of the crystals and place them in the 3 different ether reactors around the map. Do this, and you'll pretty much be on your last step. As I said before, I am going to explain quickly how to get the free R.A.I before we continue. You're more than welcome to skip this part if you already know how to do this, but to get the free R.A.I, you first must go to the weapons lab on the map and grab the schematic blueprint off of the wall. Then go to the scorched defense area, and on the far right side, there should be a burnt corpse sitting there. Pick up the journal next to him, and then activate the mini cutscene where you pull its eye out. This eye is going to give us access to the locked drawer in the weapons lab under the computer, and a key is hidden inside of here. Take the key and then go to the barracks area and start opening lockers. Eventually, once you've opened enough lockers, a mimic will spawn. Go ahead and kill this mimic and hopefully it will drop a weapon part. If not, just keep opening lockers until more mimics spawn and eventually you'll get the part from one of them. Next up, we'll need a mangler. I'd recommend either going till round 15 when you get your first one, or you could use the manglers that spawn on the second crystal defense step. What you need to do is blow off the arm of a mangler and then the part will drop. Simple, right? Well, yeah. But once you get the part, you need to return to the weapons lab and place the part in a charging port for 2 rounds. Once 2 rounds have passed, you should be able to grab your part once you go back to the charger. And the last and most annoying part to get is hidden at spawn. To access it, we will need a specific code. Go to the weapons lab and find a computer near the retina scanner that we used before. You can activate the computer, which will display a small ticker that rotates back and forth after stopping every so often. Every time you activate the computer, the ticker will cycle to 3 locations on the screen each time. We need to memorize where this ticker stops at all 3 times. In my game, my ticker stopped first at 2 ticks below the first quarter of the circle, then it stopped at 2 ticks above the second quarter of the circle, and then it finally stopped directly at the first quarter of the circle for its 3rd time. Memorize these 3 locations on this computer and then write them down somewhere. Then go to the Wonder Fizz at spawn. Near the Wonder Fizz, there's a dartboard on the wall. If you shoot the precise 3 locations on this dartboard in order where the computer ticked 3 different times in your game, and then you shoot the bullseye, you'll get your final part to the R.A.I. I'm not going to pretend that this isn't complicated because it definitely is, but this is the best way I can explain it. Like I showed before, the first ticker stopped for me at 2 ticks below the first quarter, the second ticker stopped 2 ticks above the second quarter, and then the third ticker stopped directly on the first quarter. So I had to shoot these exact locations on the dartboard and then hit the bullseye to get it to give me my last part. This is very tricky and precise and complicated, and I am so sorry if I wasn't able to explain it well enough for you. I still struggle with this myself, honestly. But anyways, assuming you do get the part, all you need to do now is return to the weapons lab where you found the schematic and craft the weapon right there. And there you go, you just got a free R.A.I. After you charge all of the reactors with the crystals, you'll realize that Peck tricked you into destroying the portal. After a while, Weaver gets an idea that can restore power to the base. You'll need to access a computer in the planning offices and use it to fire a space laser at the satellite on the base. This is pretty simple. You're actually just controlling this little blue dot on the screen with the D-pad on your controller, and you're going to all of these bigger dots on the screen until you find the one that displays a question mark on it. Activate this one and a giant beam will fire down from space on the satellite, and you'll be able to access the portal again by using the terminal in the OPC. But be warned, after you activate the terminal, there is no going back. This will take you straight to the boss fight, so unless you're ready, hold off on activating that. I'd recommend getting Speed Cola, Juggernog, Stamina Up, Quick Revive. Also 2 levels of armor and an upgraded R.A.I. would be nice as well. But once you're ready, turn on that terminal. After activating the terminal, a cutscene is going to play, but once the cutscene ends, it's time to fight the boss. To damage it, all you need to do is shoot it in the head area, and when its mouth is lit up with fire, you'll get bonus critical damage by shooting it. You should use your R.A.I. primarily, and make sure you use your Ring of Fire anytime you can for unlimited ammo. Zombies and manglers and mimics and all that stuff are going to be spawning on you, but you shouldn't have too many issues with them as long as you have your R.A.I. or Ring of Fire ready. Just put some clips into Orta whenever you get a chance to, and then defend yourself for a bit until you get another chance to put some damage on Orta. You don't need to rush through this, just take your time. Eventually, once you do put Orta down, the final cutscenes will begin and you will have completed the Firebase Z Easter egg. I really hope this guide was able to help you guys out in some way, and I'm so sorry if it was a bit complicated at times and if it's a bit longer than you would have liked. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave out any key info. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and good luck with this Easter egg. Peace out.